Welcome to the Character Forge, where I work on creating a character for D&D 5th edition that focuses on personality traits and background with a loose mechanical build. These characters aren't meant to be carbon copies, but instead give you all inspiration for your own ideas while trying to tie them into Faerunian lore. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the comments below. Today we're building Denji from Chainsaw Man, and a warning now, vague spoilers ahead. With that disclaimer out of the way, enjoy the endearing but dumb example of a protagonist with chainsaws for hands. We're going to need a few things for that. First, ridiculous survivability. Denji literally can't die, and we gotta reflect that. Second is immense damage output, cleaving through devils like they're made of putty with a choice weapon that doesn't actually slice well at all, says enough about your raw power. Finally, we need some superior physical prowess outside of combat too. Mobility, athletics, and more for that anime juice. For our ability scores, Denji has abnormal physical strength, ridiculous stamina even with his disorder, and is surprisingly likable by those that meet him, giving him 15 strength, 14 constitution, and 13 charisma. Unfortunately, Denji is also not exactly bright. He makes some fairly poor decisions, is easily swayed and tricked. He's not exactly slow or undexterous though, so we're going with 12 dexterity, 10 wisdom, and 8 intelligence. For race, I played around with a few ideas like Shifter and Asimar, but the build already has a bonus action inflation, so instead, we're going the normal route and taking variant human. This will give us +1 strength for a total of 16, and +1 wisdom for 11 total. You'll see why later. We also get proficiency in acrobatics and a feat. Take tough, because if nothing else, early on, you are most assuredly that. Next, your background is unfortunate to say the least. Uneducated and abandoned, you were raised by gangsters as a way to make money to pay off the debts owed to them by your deceased parents. Despite the dark side of this past, you've at least picked up a few skills from your surroundings and various odd jobs, so we're going with a slight variant on Urchin. This grants us proficiency in sleight of hand and stealth, as well as forgery kit and thieves' tools. We're not the best at being sketchy, but we technically can do it. We also get the background feature City Secrets, useful in sprawling city maps. Finally, onto the main event, class and levels. We're starting off as a barbarian. You know how to fight, but it's less martial arts and more clumsy flailing of limbs and brawling, which is understandable considering your background. This will give us a d12 hit die, proficiency in armor and weapons that we'll be needing, constitution and strength saving throws, as well as athletics and perception skills. We also get an armored defense, though we won't really be using it. Standard array limits our stats too much to make real use of it, so breastplate for us is what it will be. We also get everyone's favorite, Rage. Perfect for when we need to shrug off light, clumsy zombie attacks from all angles at once. Second level barbarians get us reckless attacks, which is all you ever do, let's be real. It also grants us danger sense for that abnormal sixth sense like an animal against incoming attacks. It'll help balance out your dex save just a bit. Now usually I try to make certain we don't multi-class in these builds until level 5, but in this case make the decision whether it feels right for the roleplay. Talk with your DM about making your oath because we're going with a Paladin. This will give us a d10 hit die, Divine Sense to play on that sixth sense of yours even more, and a limited healing ability to slap on your allies when they're down. Second level Paladins gain a fighting style. Ask your DM about being allowed to have 2-weapon fighting. I really doubt they'll care. If they do care, just take defense instead, I guess. You also get spellcasting and smites to really add some firepower to all your attacks now. Take Bless and Cure Wounds, and remember you can't cast while raging, but you can smite while raging. With this acquisition, you can form it into a new pact, a new deal, a new oath, whatever you want to flavor this as. And we're pushing on into a 3rd level Paladin. You're now able to choose your oath. Take the Oath of Glory for a life lived to its fullest and to reflect your ridiculous fortitude and physical prowess. Building onto that physical prowess, you now have Divine Health. After all, post you replaced your sickly heart and missing body parts. Your new oath grants you some extra spells, Heroism to help the penalties of your wisdom modifier, or another party members, and Guiding Bolt, if for some reason you need to pull out a gun on someone, I guess you're not going to use this. It also allows you to be a peerless athlete to show off some anime-level physical feats, or, more usefully, generally, to smite someone with a magic chainsaw longsword and then give yourself or your allies a bunch of temporary hit points. Much better than burning an action to heal. 4th level paladins get a feat. Take Dual Wielder and upgrade from using a longsword and short sword to just 2 longswords outright now, as well as increasing your AC just a bit. For your spell, take Protection from Evil and Good. Further protection against the things that make low mental characters turn on their allies and slaughter them with their DPS instead. 5th level paladins gain an extra attack, but even more importantly, your spell slots have nearly doubled, which means far more smites. Switch out your Cure Wounds for Prayer of Healing, far more efficient since your Lay on Hands is now at the point of being a better use of resources than Cure Wounds anyway. You also automatically get Magic Weapon in case your DM is cruel. Fellow DMs, by this point, I am begging you, please give your martial classes a magic weapon of some sort, if you're using standard monsters at least. You also have enhanced ability when you just need to be better than everyone else at something. Or I guess you could buff somebody else. Now, with our Paladin capped, we're switching back to Barbarian and sticking around for it. 3rd level Barbarian allows us to grab a Primal Path and Primal Knowledge. Take Intimidating, because you're now officially terrifying when you want to be, and the Path of the Zealot, to start leaning into that unkillable tank energy. For now, that means you get Warrior of the Chainsaw Demon, Gods, making it cheap and easy for your party cleric to drag you back from death without diamonds. You also get 1 passive Baby Smite per turn for free via Divine Fury. Don't let anyone tell you those chainsaws aren't effective weapons. At 4th level Barbarian, we'll take +2 Strength for a new total of 18. You're just better at hitting things now, which is kind of important. At 5th level Barbarian, we technically get extra attack, but we have that already. Still, we get more hit points and fast movement for a new total of 40, helping to close the distance and get the devils into chainsaw range. 6th level Zealots get Fanatical Focus to help counter your bad saving throws just a bit. 7th level Barbarians get Instinctive Pounce for half movement after a rage, and Feral Instinct to counter being ambushed due to your poor situational awareness. 8th level Barbarians get another +2 Strength for a new cap of 20 total. 9th level Barbarians get Brutal Critical to help make your crits even more nasty with 3 attacks and smites. 10th level Barbarians get Proficiency in Survival and Zealous Presence to unleash a resounding, possibly perverse battle cry, improving your own and allies' morale briefly. Pair this with your smites that grant temporary hit points for a rousing moment in combat. 11th level Barbarians get Relentless Rage, making you even more difficult to properly put down. 12th level Barbarians get a feat, take Resilience and Wisdom, and finally get that early game payoff of having odd-numbered stats for a new total of 12. You're raising a kid now. You gotta have at least better than a 10 Wisdom. 13th level Barbarians, Brutal Critical hits even harder. Doesn't matter much until it does, and then you lop off a giant demon's arm and make the DM say you do how much damage? 14th level Zealots finally get that nigh immortality Denji has with Rage Beyond Death. Basically, you don't die until the thing your party needs dead dies first. Be clever and save at least 1 hit point of Lay on Hands for once the battle is complete, and you won't even need to worry about dying. Just avoid sleep casters. Our capstone of 15th level Barbarian gives us Persistent Rage, ensuring by all logic that you effectively never go down, and can make the absolute most of every rage you have. Now, how strong is Denji? Well, you're a powerhouse for certain, assuming best case scenario you could burst down an enemy dealing 84 damage in 1 turn, assuming no crits and all 3 attacks hit with Smite and Rage. Spam Reckless. Always spam Reckless, because if you get a crit, that damage skyrockets. Next, you're a durable little numbskull with 22 fixed hit points and resistance to most common damage types in the game via Rage. Even without the I literally don't die abilities at higher levels, you're really difficult to put down, especially considering the extra healing and temporary hit points you have with Smite. As far as downsides go, your AC isn't great. If your DM gives you a ring, a cloak, some bonus breastplate maybe, you can keep up at high levels, but baseline 16 is okay at low levels, but not mid and high levels really. High HP helps soften that weakness a bit though. Next, your dex saves are, pretty bad. Advantage on some of them helps, but a +1 for a frontliner that's going to definitely be the target of nasty spells isn't great. Nor is the bad charisma or intelligence saves that could ruin you at a high level combat with a single casting of a spell. Especially since if the DM knows you're going Zealot, keep in mind your NPC opponents are going to have Plane Shift. That said, your Wisdom modifier is pretty solid, which helps negate the common Charm the Barbarian DM tactic, and that fits. Denji doesn't make great choices, but his willpower is surprisingly firm. Finally, you're definitely not the skill monkey. If it doesn't involve brawn or being a replacement scout, you're not the best person to ask to do, anything, really. But you're great at what you do, so focus on that. Be the muscle, be the shield, help people. Maybe try not to be swayed by strangers so easily, though. Thank you all for watching. If you have a character you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. What would you do differently for this build? What did you like about what I did? Anything catch you off guard? And if you enjoyed this video, maybe check out one of these. A thank you to all my patrons and channel members. If you'd like to guarantee a video, then check out my Patreon to commission me once a month at higher tiers, or get to directly vote on the videos for just $3. Thank you all for your support. Have an amazing day, everyone. Be safe, be kind to yourselves and each other. See you in the next video where I do David from Edgerunners.